Ancestry is described as a tree. Many branches, deep roots, and a few nuts. My dad began to research on our family when he was 16 years old. Researching the Dehne family started with him asking about his grandparents, then their parents, and well, you get the picture. My dad's curiosity grew each time he would get a new piece of information. A place of birth, a place of marriage, a piece of farmland. So where do I begin? So, how do you decide who's the first one you look for? Is it your grandpa that you knew as a child? Is it your great-grandmother who came from a European country that doesn't exist anymore? As I got older, I too began to ask these same questions. Together or apart, my dad and I pieced together the story of Henry. Not that Jacob Henry. Not the Henry that was born in 1970. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that Henry. Or that Henry, or that Henry, or this Henry, and definitely not that Henry. This is Henry Dehne that began our line in America. He's one of many Henrys that are in our direct line. 8 of them, in fact. Ernst Henry was born in Europe in 1818 into a family of 5 older brothers. Henry's dad, Johann Ludwig, had spent his young adult years in the upheaval of the Napoleonic Wars, the rise and fall of the Confederation of the Rhine, and the 100 Days' War. They lived on the border in Schaumburg-Lippe, which had just become a principality at the time. Henry and his family were Prussian, or was it Austrian? Or just Schaumburg-Lippe. Too many land wars. If they lived there now, they'd be German. Anyway, they were definitely Lutheran. When my dad and I would research the history and time period, it was intimidating to think of Henry's childhood and what it would have been. Feudalism was alive and well. Lords and nobility like Prince George Wilhelm ruled everything and everyone else served under them. Unless you were a noble, you were a peasant, and guess what we were? For many years, my dad thought the Dehnes were landowners, and only recently we discovered they rented. Turns out the Dehne family was new to the area and would not have the opportunity to purchase and own. Their lives would be dedicated to working the fields only to give away the profits. You had armies from other Germanic areas constantly invading, stealing, possibly killing you. You were even required as a male to serve in these armies when you were of age, so our Henry had a bleak future to look forward to. And then, in 1836, when he's 18, his mom Sophie dies of tuberculosis. As a teenager, he had to watch his mother suffer and suffocate before succumbing to this brutal chest disease. Henry had a war veteran father. He was the 6th son. He's heartbroken from his mother's loss. He has no income, no job, uncertain of what his life would be. He had to fend for himself. It was only a short trip to Amsterdam. So he leaves.